Today, the two cards that we drew were Ink and Flower. Now, I got started to work and I did my very best that I could. And I did have a little bit of a head start from yesterday, and I just went for it. And I was trying really hard to just kind of get over that inner critique. You'll hear more about it from me in the present. I always seem to do this thing where I sit down for a long session of creativity, and then I realize that I sat down and started at noon, and that I haven't eaten lunch yet. And so then halfway through, my stomach's like, oh, we can't be creative anymore because we're hungry. Honestly, today I had a lot of feelings of like, is this challenge even possible? Am I just being ridiculous? Why do this if no one's gonna see it? And it's like, I never do these things for the views, but I do think it's cool to put it out there because I think there needs to be more like just celebration of creativity in the world. And honestly, I think it just comes down to like believing in yourself. I said this in a previous video, but like the secret to outputting as much as I'm trying to output is to just have like audacious confidence in yourself that everything you're making might be cool or the coolest. I think what got so hard was when I was doing the heart dust class or the dust beater. I felt like that class had so much potential, and then I was like really into the flavor of it, and it just felt like I fell short of making it. And it's not that I actually fell short. I feel like I made something really, really cool and really, really creative. And it's just like trying to turn off that inner critic as you're working of like, no, everything I'm doing is cool. Things like names, I can always change them later. So I might as well just believe that everything I'm doing right now is the possible most awesomeness. And then like in revision, you know, you can kind of go back into that criticism brain. And that's what I'm trying to get more into today. And as I got started, it took me like 20 minutes. But I feel like I finally got back to that headspace of like being confident in my creativity and just going for it. And it's so hard because the world tells us that we shouldn't do that. But I think that we should, because creativity is magic. It is literally magic. Like the concept of magic would not exist without creativity. Anyways, I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm gonna get to it. I still have hours more to go. Just in case you wanted to see, we are gonna do it. Gosh darn it, we are. We had this dull pineapple juice, so we're gonna see how it tastes. Also, I love wearing this bag. It makes me feel like I'm an adventurer. And life is one great adventure, and any more sense of it that we can get in life, we should do it. This is 100% pineapple juice, which is a little scary. Whoa. It's like sour. I don't know if I should like it. It's definitely just pineapple juice. And I'm kind of here for it, but I'm also kind of like, I don't feel like I should be drinking this on its own. That's probably how apple juice felt until people started drinking it, right? After lunch, I was feeling rejuvenated. I did have an interruption, but it was a good interruption. My wife came home and we did some power poses together. I'm powerful, and it helped with the confidence, which was great. So I got to work, and this is probably one of the most unique classes I made so far. And I literally had a class where your heart is like flaking off and turning into dust, and all your spells are based off the amount of ounces that you're using from your heart dust. This class is like, you make ink from different flowers, and that has an effect. Then each ink is a different color, and that has an effect. So you already have two like modifiers to whatever you're doing. And you have like a basic thing that it does in a thing based off whatever your modifiers are. And then at level 2, or I think it's level 3, you get budding creation. So you can create these little flowers that pop up from the ground, and they have their own effect that they do, like an action. And then they also do whatever the modifiers are. So if you do like a flower made from a mum with pink ink, and you do a, let's just say a lavender flower that pops up, then that means you would have, creatures would have like +1 d4 temporary HP on the start of their turn. And then, honestly, it's a little hard to keep track of. So you would kind of have to just write down your combinations as you go. Okay, so they would have, they couldn't deal damage inside the area of the effect of the flower, except for to the flower. It just takes an attack action or part of an attack to destroy one. But if you're healing, you heal 1d6 plus HP plus your charisma. So it's like you could set up little zones or stations, and your whole flower, like your whole personality, a lot of it would be like, oh, I'm searching for the right like combination of ink and flower to like make the most powerful spell in the world, which is kind of accurate to this class. And then at a higher level, you get flower symbols, and that lets you draw little like runes and flowers on people. And I did kind of like debuff the ink and color stuff, so like you can use the color from the ink and then it drains to black, which does nothing. So you can use that effect once, and then each of the symbols has a different effect. And I kid you not, I made a total of 21 different effects. I looked up flower language and just was able to like be inspired by, oh, this is what this flower means. Okay, let's make an effect based off of that. And it was so much fun. And then the number of like things you can draw on people and yourself kind of increases slowly over time. And so there's a lot of like, okay, what am I doing here? And you're kind of like, if you're ever using your action to heal someone, you probably should have like done that preemptively. You probably should have set up like a healing flower zone earlier, or you probably should have like drawn a symbol on them to be able to heal. So it's kind of like this weird healing class where if you're ever actually healing someone as an action during combat, rather than like setting up a healing zone earlier that they took advantage of, or like having the right symbol on them, then it's different. So it's kind of this really unique class. It's like almost this like bardic inspiration type mechanic, except for, you've got limited uses and you have all that stuff. And then you also have like this area space control with these flowers that can pop up from the ground, because I don't know. And it's something that I'm playing with, is that like the flowers don't distinguish between friendly and non-friendly creatures. So if you have like an orange lily, which does 1d6 fire damage at the start of the turn, plus whatever color of ink you used, and then there might be one additional effect. That might be too much. I'm gonna be honest, that might be too much, but we'll see. And so like if you started your turn or moved within 5 feet of it on your turn, you take damage unless you used an attack like as part of your attack to destroy the flower. And so it's kind of this like, oh, we're running away, like let's pop up some flowers behind us to like slow them down, or to make them take damage as they're chasing us, or let's give some flowers in our area so that as we're running through them, we can heal. But then it's like if they run through them, they'll heal. And it kind of just adds this like element of hopefully encouraging people to move along the battlefield a little bit more. Or maybe it's to like create more defensible positions, which is like something that I'm always looking for as a DM, is ways to make combat more interesting. And so it's kind of fun. I think if you were this class, you might feel underpowered. I know I said all these scary things, but they don't really like, and that's not as powerful as it seems because you have limited uses. And so it's like, it kind of comes down to the drawing on people's skin. And so like, I think a lot of the people in your party would really love you, because it's like, oh yeah, I'll take a +1 to my wisdom score while I'm wearing this flower. Like, you might be kind of like the hero that like helps with some builds, but you'd have to be redrawing it on them pretty frequently, and it's a whole process, and it's fun. I really, really like it. And let's skip to the level 20 ability, because that's what we're all here for. Whenever we look at a class, we have to read the level 20 ability. And this one is Domain of Flowers. And usually you can only create like a few, equal to your proficiency modifier of like these pop-up flowers from the ground. This one lets you fill every 5 feet for like a 30-foot. Oh, I keep saying the foot is like 30. I put a 100-foot cube, but that's going to get revised. That seems like way too much even for level 20. But in this cube, every 5 feet, you can pop up a flower. And so you probably should just pick one flower and it pops up everywhere. And then all of a sudden, like at one point, I think that's like level 9 that the radius goes from 5 feet per flower to 10 feet per flower. And so it's like instantly this whole area is just like this mess of like all these flowers that you're like, I can't walk through this, and you're just like trying to hack and slash through them. And it seems really cool. It seems cool. I almost named it, instead of domain of flowers, I almost named it field of flowers, but we'll see. I had a lot of fun creating this, but it's also a lot of work. So if you could consider subscribing, that would be awesome. Maybe if enough people subscribe, I can get some paper clips as a tax write-off, because this is getting a little insane. I am planning on putting these all up on my website, which is still not created at this process yet. But when they are on my website, they're going to be available for like 75 cents. And if you purchase it, it gives you lifetime access to that class, including all future revisions. And eventually these will all be on sale for $3 per revision. So if you're like an early adopter and you're interested, check that out in a future video, because it's not ready yet. I still need to digitize all these and do some revisions. But yeah, if you want to adopt early and not pay the full price long term, then it would be a great way to, one, support the channel and have fun with fantasy. I hope you have a great day, and bye.